she's part of my business team. So when I travel and stuff like that, and help them with the day-to-day operations, with my business, with my distribution company.
You're tuned into
I like
NWCLV.FM. It's DJ King Cobra. I move slick, strike quick, hit you once, and it's over. Today, we got my round, Jayson Dixon with Real Talk with Jayson Dixon featuring Stone Paxton, the living legend. Jayson, go on and take him away.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another show of Real Talk with Jayson Dixon. Today I got a real, man, I don't even have idols, but I think I found one. And when y'all hear how we met and tell the story, like I met him last Thursday, first time meeting, we had a long conversation outside of an event. Instead of even being in the event, we both sat and talked. I liked everything he was saying. He's here today, so I kind of had to like what I was saying as well. Stone Paxton, major engineer, living out of Las Vegas. I'm going to let him tell his story, you guys, because I read his bio and I just feel like he's something powerful. To all you engineers, this is somebody you should be looking at to mentor you if you want to get to his level. Hey, Stone, welcome today, man.
What's going on, Jay?
I appreciate you
Thanks for
coming
inviting
through.
me, brother.
And I know it's a holiday, so I'm really grateful.
No, it's all good. Every day, in this business, every day is work, man. So
Right.
we don't take breaks, brother. We
Right,
don't take
man.
breaks.
So tell a little bit of your story, man. Like I read it, like you being a key star player for a vocalist for Rick James, Stone City Band, member of the Alien
Alan McNeil's Troop Reloaded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the things I read out of your bio, I was like, man, I was this old when I read it. I was this age. So for everybody you work with, I'm like, it's people out there that just want to be a part of, get a percentage of who you are and where you're at.
Yeah, well, first of all, not to correct Jay, but I am a recording artist, first and foremost, recording artist, producer, and by way of doing all that, engineer.
Yes. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. That happens. Sometimes people switch it around, but and my history goes all the way back to the 80s, like 81, 82. I mean, I know I look young, but I'm 53, and
Yeah,
I say that proudly.
I couldn't even believe that, guys. He said that to me, and I was like, no way.
Trust me, I look in the mirror sometimes. It's hard for me to believe, and I say it proudly because I love to tell my story. And it starts in the 80s when there was no social media, no Instagram, no Facebook, no digital cell phones. It was beepers.
Yeah.
You'd have to be at home to get a call, or you wasn't going to get the call. Business call, girl, it didn't matter. But it was a time where perseverance meant everything, and you didn't have the perseverance to be greater and do greater. You weren't going to last not even a week. I mean, it was a different level of artistry back then, and I share those things with artists to help inspire them, because if you can last as long as I have, sky's the limit.
Right. And that's what I like to hear. Some of the things that we were talking about, and you telling me about you being an artist and who you managed and the distribution, to see you bring all those together and to hear you and to read your bio and see how you work, that was so amazing to me. Because I'm like, you don't meet people with that kind of work ethic. So what drove you to go down this path? I know, coming from the Midwest like me, to come to Vegas and actually do all this yourself, tell me that story.
When I came to Vegas, it was my cousin and I, and we came on the Amtrak train. Mm-hmm. And initially I was going to go to LA, but because I'm scared of earthquakes, I went to LA and I spent my time not sleeping and sleeping with my eyes open. I knew that LA was important, but I didn't want to worry about those elements.
Okay.
So Vegas was close, and I'm like, man, I could drive to Vegas, 4 hours, catch a plane in an hour. Ended up in Vegas, plus it was cheaper to own our home with my future thoughts on what I wanted to do in the future.
Yep.
So I ended up in Vegas. Yeah, I had already had it planned. I always plan things out. So I'd already had that in my head, and I'm one of those kind of dudes. I'm 20 years ahead in my mind.
Yep. I'm never the same way.
Right?
Yes.
So I already know what's going to happen. I already know I have a roadmap, like this is what I'm going to set up, and this is where it's going to go. And I know it's going to go that way because I'm directing it like traffic to that.
With that being said, I want to say something, because it's something we both agreed on. Guys, if you're not listening to him, I talk about business plans. He's talking about the plan. They're the same thing. if you put it down on paper, it's your motto, it's your goal, it's what you're going to go through, right?
Absolutely.
So listening to you right now, your plan was already ahead. You're like, okay, I'm going to go here, but this is where I want to be in 5 years. This is where I want to be. So a lot of, especially in the music business, I'm going to try to keep it in there even though I deal with a bunch of other genres. In the entertainment field, you don't see that too often.
No,
I don't care if they're
absolutely
behind the
don't.
scenes,
Yeah.
in front of the scenes. You don't see a plan. You just say, my skill is my talent, and I'm going to go in here and work.
Yes, yes. 90% of most of the guys, and I'll compare that 90% in another analysis too, they're in the now. They're artists in the now. They don't think about tomorrow. They don't think about 20 years from now. And then 90% of this is business.
Mm-hmm.
Only 10% of this is artistry.
Right.
So I give artists, when I speak at these music conventions, I talk about all this. This is a business. It's called the business of music, not the artist business.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I tell them it's called the business of music for a reason.
I swear, when I get brought into these music conferences to talk, and this is what I get. You've never been an artist, so how can you tell me how to do it? I'm like, I've never been an artist, but I run businesses. If you're not looking at it from this point of view, then you're not an artist. You're just somebody doing a hobby.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and it's funny. It's funny you say that because this became an issue on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel,
Okay.
music production, right? And so you got all these new people who just create a YouTube and they'll get a phone and they'll do reviews, right?
Yep.
So you think you're relevant because you just got a YouTube channel, you're doing reviews. But you studied somebody else's channel and all you did is took notes on what they
Yep.
did and just kind of added to yours, right?
Yep.
So, but
Yes,
then
sir.
here's a guy who's been doing YouTube probably for a minute, but because the new age younger people think you're not relevant, if it's certain kind of content you're not doing in their mind, you're old school, you're old dude.
And you're not mimicking. If you're not doing exactly what you're saying.
You
Yep.
feel what I'm saying? What
Yep.
they want you to do, you're irrelevant.
Yep.
When really, YouTube is a portal and a platform for knowledge based on real experiences.
Yes.
That's really what it's supposed to be.
Yes.
So sometimes I'll go on YouTube and I'll say, man, this dude's got to be about 13.
Trying to tell somebody.
What does he know about engineering? No disrespect, because even the Bible says we can learn out of the mouth of a child, right?
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, dude, really? You telling me about engineering? I've been doing this for 30 years, and I'm just saying in general, anybody that log onto YouTube. So this is the age of narcissism, number one.
True. We do a thing. So I told you when I talked to you, I'm back in school working on my doctorates, and one of the classes I had last month, we talk about. It's called when they get the likes, they're just here for the likes, right?
Right.
It's called a narcissistic meaning. It's a vein.
Right.
When you're just in it for the likes, it means they're not real. You can care less about making money. You just get happy that people are liking what you do.
You love the adrenaline rush.
Right. So in marketing, I push everybody away from that. My team will tell you, when we talk, I say, listen, I don't care how many likes you get.
Yeah.
I need to know who's in that inbox, who's clicking on your transaction. I get people that send me their stats. Just yesterday, I had somebody send me their stats, and they were happy because they got up to 150K followers. But on the other side of the stats, it said interactions was down 20% in the red.
Right.
Actual people spending more than 3 seconds on their video was down in the red. But they were so happy about this side that you didn't understand, like nobody's really paying attention.
Yeah. Can we bring those same people that are interacting with you? And can we put together a convention, or can we put together a show and those same people are going to show up?
Nope.
And that's the same thing with the whole Spotify thing with artists. And I tell them, you're paying for spins, but when it's time to go on tour,
who's going to buy the tickets?
are you going to pack the house?
Yep. Like you two.
You feel what I'm saying?
I came back and
I
came back and told my team about the story you told me about your nightclub and about your little venue that you have, and I was telling them that I was like, he thinks like me so much, or I think like him, I should say, because of what you said about artists don't want to sell tickets.
Absolutely.
They don't want to get out there. They think they're already the man.
Yeah.
And they're like, you tell them to sell tickets, and they're like, no. But if like you said, if we were to do a comedy, comedians will be out there like, oh, sell tickets? I got it. I get to keep it? Come on.
Yeah. It's a business model.
To be an artist, every artist in the world sells tickets, whether you sell it physically or from your appearance.
Absolutely.
Right.
And when you built the fan base, if all three of you guys in this room are my fans, and I got my fourth fan, I know no matter what, I got 4 people that are gonna show up to my show. So if you start with your family first. I tell artists, start in your immediate circle. If you don't have 60 people in your immediate circle to come and support you, time to get another job. It's another trade, and that's no offense, but it's the truth.
It's no offense, but you're
you know
telling
what I mean?
them right.
Because a mama can't come support, auntie, cousin. If I can't get them in the immediate circle to support, you start with that circle, then you build another perimeter around that circle, and you keep building until your fan base is
You're
where it
going
needs
off
to
of,
be.
and the model you're going off of is what I tell everybody. Multi-level marketing sucks, but the model that they gave you business-wise was great.
Absolutely,
Every
yeah.
multi-level marketing said, hey, how many friends and people can you give me their names so we can contact them?
And you know what? And that's the fundamental of it. I have this thing that I do on Facebook. When I have a new single that comes out, I make people responsible. I said, everybody on my page is going to be responsible. If you're not buying my single, you get blocked or taken off my Facebook page.
Yep. Just let them
And
know.
they said, oh, you're mean. I said, no. I bought your record. Show the proof of purchase. Post it in my comments.
Right.
If it's not there, you get blocked. I'm on this for business. I'm in this for business.
I'm the same way.
You know what I mean?
My page is strictly, and even just trying to, my whole thing is exactly what you said. I try to tell people, like, I even told someone, I swear, when I first started business, I built a Facebook. I wasn't on Facebook at first. I was like, okay, this is becoming relevant. I need to use it for business only. On my dialogue, it says this is a business page. There will be nothing personal posted on this page. My mom immediately goes on there and says, hey, son, I love you. And I deleted the post, and I got a phone call. She was like, why did you delete? Mom, did you not read what I said?
It's business.
You could have inboxed me.
Right.
I don't want people knowing my family. I don't want, this is business. I only, and you can talk to any one of these guys in this room. I post, hey, you need a website? Hey, you need this? Hey, you need that? Hey, I got new distribution. Hey, I got a tour going on. Everything that all my clients overall do. So I'm like you in that sense.
Yeah.
If you're not going to support, then why are you on my page?
Why are you on the page? Because this is not speed dating site.
Right.
I mean, I tell people all the time, yo, if you're here for speed dating, get out my inbox. I'm going to put you on blast on my page. You know what I mean? We've learned how to monetize because the system is set up. Distribution, digital, distribution, TV, film. But people forgot how to monetize relationships, something we've been doing all our lives since the 70s.
Say that. Hey, y'all heard that? Say that again. Because we do not understand. It's people.
Yeah.
I don't care how big you are. I see people with millions of followers. But when I come and say, how much money are you making? They're like, man, I don't know. I'm not making hardly any.
See? You see? and I love that because they have to be responsible for the thought and action. So I said, have you monetized your relationship? They said, well, what do you mean, monetize my... I said, wow, you really don't get it. You're in a business, but you don't know about monetizing your relationships? Right. What are you offering the person that knows you? I said, you're monetizing your relationship. What are you giving them? You're giving them great music?
Right.
You're giving them a venue to hang out at? Are you giving them knowledge and wisdom?
Hey, the power, this is one thing. So let me ask you this. So being a businessman that you are, when I first started out, the reason I remember before we started the show, I was telling you that I got, talked about a lot. Because I honestly would give away my services. Understand what I'm saying? My services for free. But I monetize on the things that you wanted hardware-wise. What I mean, t-shirts, lanyards, stuff that needed to be printed. And everybody was like, stop giving away this knowledge for free. I'm like, but I'm building relationships. And in those relationships, these people are coming back. And not only are they coming back, they're referring people to me. They're sending people. They're telling people about what I'm doing.
You monetize your relationships.
Exactly.
And this is, and when you do that, you become valuable unlike the next person next to you, because there's something about you that's valuable with your technique, something about this gentleman here that's valuable with his technique, something about this gentleman, something about this young lady here that's valuable in her technique. So we utilize each other in our value.
Yes.
People say, don't use me, but I say we use everybody. As long as we know
Amen.
that, as long as we know that in that relationship, why we're using each other.
Yes.
And it's no hidden agenda.
Thank you.
But you monetize your relationship because you're valuable, I'm valuable. Now we monetize. And even if I'm a consumer, the consumer is still valuable too.
Yes.
I need that sale. So I'm going to monetize my relationship. What's my relationship with the consumer is I'm giving them great product they want. and I'm going to keep giving them great product.
Absolutely.
In return, they're going to support me and they're going to buy. But if I don't know how to create a relationship with that consumer, and I'm just telling people, oh, can you click like on my Facebook? I'm getting a like, but I'm not getting a sell. What's more important?
The sale. I'm with you 100%. You guys, if you know me, and y'all do know me out here in both my worlds, I'm about, hey, if you're not in my inbox talking about what you need from me, what are you in my inbox for? I don't care about who. I get tons of people, and I'm sure you do too, that be like, nobody even likes your post. It's only up there. I'm like, but in my inbox, they like, hey, I need a website, bro.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
Yeah.
If you like it and keep going, that doesn't help me. So you're absolutely right. But the hardest thing, so I'm going to ask you, when you're talking to these artists and you're trying to get them to understand that, do you feel like they just kind of skip over your knowledge and say, oh man, he's just talking, I'm going to go over here and do, because I feel like a lot of artists that I run into nowadays, they all want to talk about just getting on that stage.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
But when you're on the stage, artists used to tell me, I used to tell them like, look, if I book you a show, even if the major artists do nowadays, they'll have a concert, then they'll say, hey Jason, if you want to bring these artists on that you're working with, $800, they'll get access to my crowd.
Yeah.
My artists get super excited about it, and I'm like, bet. Okay, but if you give him $800, then you have the money to do the marketing, to get your CD out there. Who's going to go with you to the concert? They don't think about all that.
Yeah.
Why is that? Like, what stops the artist from thinking about your business? That's what I kind of want to know.
Because artists are need-based people.
Okay.
So when the dynamic of their needs change, so do their loyalty. And that loyalty not only with themselves, but with you also.
Yeah.
So when the dynamic of needs of anybody changes, when a person feels like they don't need you, so their loyalty typically is out of the door.
Right.
So the dynamic of what we need needs to stay steady. With artists, they need to understand every relationship is a dynamic element that adds to their career growth, the success of their career.
Got it.
I still need you.
Yeah.
Even though I used you today and we use each other, I still need you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But because it's human nature. So once I get what I want, I'm gone. Dynamic of my needs have changed, so do my loyalty, I'm gone. And until artists learn to change the dynamic of their needs based on loyalty to themselves first.
Right. Cap, I'm too loyal. That's what he's telling me.
Yeah. They'll be right. They'll be right where they're at next year. And they'll be telling you how they still working on the same single, getting ready to drop the album, and
you're so true about that. I had an artist I was working with out of Dallas. Young man was talented. He had not just talented, but what I try to tell people is your brand. Every time I see you who you are. The way your hair looks, the way you're dressed. I try to explain that to the artist. Like, look, your music is great, but they're really buying into your brand of who you are.
Yes. Yeah.
1 year, in 2 years, I got him where a lot of artists hadn't even gotten in like years, to where he was getting paid features right off the muscle. Everybody calling. I had major artists calling like, hey Jason, we want to put him on a show, $300, where we're charging everybody else $800. A couple of producers came through, got in his ear like, oh, you're working with Jayson, we could take you on a bigger, and then he just was like, oh, I think we're going to go in another direction. 2 years later, hadn't heard nothing from him, no music, no nothing, get a call back. No, he hit me up on Facebook like, I miss my old team. And I said, well, you stepped away, but this time it's going to cost you.
The dynamic of his need changed. You
So
see what I'm
everything
saying?
you're saying is right, yeah.
Yeah, the dynamic of his need changed. And see, one thing about being old school is the last of the understanding of loyalty died with our. I think the last of the real, true, loyal people was the 90s.
Yes.
Okay, so this generation, if they study history and they study their aunts and uncles and learn the element of loyalty, and this is outside of being an artist.
Right, this is being a person.
Once you learn loyalty, there's so much that goes along with that. And then you take that and you apply that to your career. Because in order to be successful, consistency takes what? Loyalty.
Loyalty, yeah.
Right? Because you got to be loyal to you.
Yep.
Even at the worst times and money is not working
Yes.
and things, right?
Yes.
So this is why we have so many great artists, but so few that are successful.
Yeah.
But if you look at the 90s, you had E40, you had Master P, cats were selling out they trunk.
Yeah.
Everybody was successful.
So I agree with you. So what you're saying is, in this day and age, these new artists, they're not even loyal to themselves. So
No.
how can they stay loyal to a fan base? How
Absolutely.
Can a fan base stay loyal
Yeah.
to them?
Or the person that's investing in them.
Yep.
And this is one reason I don't take on a lot of artists. I do little things like I might, for a year, just have you come to the studio and sit. I might not even record you. Let's show up to the studio. Because I'm mentally trying to see where you at.
Right.
You want me to invest my time and money? I'll show up to the studio. I thought we was going to record. Nah, we ain't recording today, man. Just sit back there.
Chill with me.
Yeah.
Be here. Show me you can be here. Yeah.
I have one artist in the last 15 years that did that recently with me, for 2 years. And now I'm about to do a whole album on him. He never complained. He showed up. Some days I say we're going to cut. And he gets there. I said, nah, man, we ain't cutting. I'm working on something else. He never once complained. He's earned that loyalty and the right for me to invest my time, efforts, and all my connections into him.
That's awesome. And I think if more of us thought like that, because what you taught him was patience. And I think a lot of the artists today that I run across, they want to be rich tomorrow. Even signing up with me to help them build, I tell them, like, look, this is a slow walk. Whatever you was doing, getting your shows, going to open mics, keep doing that. Because what I'm building behind the scenes isn't going to be done tomorrow or the day after that.
Yeah, the real build's going to take some time. This generation has no patience. They want it now.
Look though, they come from a realm that says, go in the closet, record yourself, and throw it on Apple.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't even care about the quality of it. Like, everything is, I mean, for example, me as a producer, the $20 beat killed, I ain't even going to say killed, but it really changed the dynamic to producers like me who sit in the studio and will create a song with you from scratch.
Right.
I'm not copying and pasting. I'm sitting on the piano. I'm like, okay, Jay, go, let me hear you sing. Okay, right. I'm giving you your own element.
But do you think before you finish that, you think because in my studio, at the studio that I'm rebuilding now, last year, I love engineers like you. Yeah. Everyone, I think, from T-Berry to you, to everyone that I brought in, they've all that. So do you think as the 90s ended, those type of engineers ended because YouTube said, hey, I just got a whole beat factory right here, go grab it?
Those types of producers and engineers definitely ended because the copy and paste made a cat that just got a computer feel like everybody in this room that has 25, 30 years experience, I'm just as good as you now.
Right.
And they felt like it leveled the playing field on the digital level because of digital distribution, but mentally, it just made a cat feel like, bro, I'm just as good as you, man.
But that's the difference to me between an artist lasting a long time to these that we get now that get one hit and then they blow up and then you never hear from them again because they can't find that same voice.
True, because they're using some loops that are made by a guy like me. And I'm not making them no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not making them for that particular company that I'm licensing those to. So that sound they were looking for came from a cat that you might not even know like me. And so now I'm telling the company, well, I need more money to license my music with your company, who the rapper in some little small town is grabbing my stuff, dragging it into his computer. He don't even know me.
Right.
But that became his sound.
Right. And then when that sound goes away,
so does his sound.
That's awesome. Hey,
you see
I hope
what
you
I'm
guys
saying?
are filling this in because this is stuff that I love talking about. This is why I said I wanted you on. This is real talk because I feel like a lot of people get on the airways and they talk about a lot of nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
What you're giving my audience, which is a lot of artists, a lot of people that I do business with, the idea that, hey, you got to really sit down and work with the people that are quality.
Yes.
I talk about that 100% every day. What do you feel changed the dynamics of quality in artists and engineering and producing? Because like you said, the digital age said, take this loop, put this loop with this, add this drum, da-da-da, and you got something. I ain't going to say it's quality, but you got something. Where you're saying, hey, I got this keyboard right here. I'm going to make this sound because I heard you.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to take these drums over here because I got this sound and I heard you. Then as I'm doing them real life, I'm putting them in, and now it really sounds like you.
Absolutely.
So and what I'm hearing from you on that is the quality went away.
The quality and the A&R went away, artist repertoire,
yes.
where you develop the artist. If Celine Dion was in this room and she came in and she says, hey, who in this room plays piano? I'm going to go. And he's going to raise his hand too and say, I need a song, you guys. Him and I are going to get together. He might sit next to me. I'll be like, ooh, I like that chord. I like that melody stone. We're gonna create the piano. She's gonna start singing in the back of the room like, Okay, then I'm going to get the computer or the MPC, and then we're going to start bringing that record together. There's nothing like an organic element of writing records because it creates your sound.
Yes.
When I'm taking preset loops, there's only so much you can do. Filter them, change the pitch.
Yeah.
Even people that sample records are better set up than a person who would take a preset loop. Because at least with sampling records, you have to be creative.
Right.
To take
Hence
that
why
record.
Kanye blew up.
Right, and take that record and flip it into something new. But these dudes are literally getting a piano I played or you played and ding, ding, ding. They're just, ooh, dude, that's dope. And they're dragging it. And then they ain't even playing the drums. They're dragging the drums. And they're like, ooh, I'm dope, man. Yo, I'm just platinum. Yo, you can't tell them nothing.
Hey, and that's what
You see what I'm saying?
It's funny that you're saying that because we just had a huge conversation about all of this last week about the difference between an engineer and a beat maker.
Yeah, you can't
But
tell them nothing.
in this realm, they believe the two are the same.
They think being an engineer is a whole separate art. That's why when record labels get budgets, they have a budget for the engineer. That might be $200,000 for him to mix that album or more.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got a budget of $150,000 to do the album. Then you got an arranger who comes in and he might charge $60,000, and his only job is to take your lyrics and arrange them to the music.
So it flows.
You see what I'm saying? And this is why the quality of music has went downhill, because back then there was a element of quality and it meant something. So you had an arranger come in the room and the producer, and sometimes the producer wasn't the dude that played the music. He was a guy that just came and said, hey, Billy, play that on piano. Hey, Bob, play that on bass. Jimmy, play that on drums. You see what I'm saying?
I'm loving it because I've been in those elements.
Mm-hmm.
And so to hear you put it out like that, I don't think a lot of people know.
Yeah.
But I've been in New York. I've seen them have the instruments in one studio.
Yeah.
And then the artists in another, and the people on the side directing the whole thing. And I thought it was phenomenal. Like, I thought music was made because I saw the dude sit at the keyboard and go like this. And then when I saw this, I'm like, that's why that artist lasts.
That's why they
International artists are the longest lasting artists.
They're still doing it by the fundamental thing that America created. Because you got to remember, every country follows the U.S.
Yes.
We set the tone for music since it started.
Yes.
Motown created an element of creating records from structure. Berry Gordy would come in and he would hear a bass a certain way. He'd say, hey, Funk Brothers, change that bass up. They were like, well, change it how? He said, I don't know, but I don't like it. He'd leave the room, come back and say, that's it.
Right.
I like that. That was considered production also, even if you didn't play, because you're actually producing the concept that's conceived in your mind to create an idea, to take it and mold it, because this bass player and this keyboard player might not have heard it played
That way before.
the way you wanted it, and you say, no, bro, change that. And you're like, well, what do you want me to play? I don't play it. Just keep playing, and I'll tell you when you got it right. You know what I'm saying? I got the ear.
Yeah.
And this is what James Brown did with his band. James Brown told them what to play. He also could play instruments, but he'd be like, play the horn like that. That's it.
Right.
That like that. Boom. His sound became what was in his mind.
Right.
Anybody in this room, I can bring 5 musicians, and I can tell my man, I say, hey, bro, tell me what you hear in your head. I'm going to start with the bass player. He'll say, no, I don't like that. Can you change it up, sir? He said, okay, what about that? That's it. Okay, keyboards. Okay, tell the keyboard what, I don't like that, man. All of a sudden, he's creating a whole new sound because he's told those guys what to play. And that is still considered production. The original way producing started off with, because you were just a musician. But this guy was the producer because he came in with his concept.
And said, make this work because I think it adds up with your voice.
It adds with your voice. It feels good. It works. And now he's valuable because I can't dig in his brain and take out what's in his head. Now, damn, dude is dope. Like,
I need him.
How he come up with them ideas. Like, because when he tell the band to do something, what they came up with initially, when everybody came in the room, they weren't playing that same sound until he told the bass player what he didn't like, he did like, and everybody collaborated. And now that concept came from him. He's the producer of that record.
I feel like that's the reason why artists nowadays, too, based off what you're saying, like I said, I've been in that environment, I've seen it, and I think when I don't go to concerts for that reason, because it's not the same.
Right.
The artists aren't performing to real music. anymore. It's all played by a DJ and it's not where I'm used to going to. I threw a Life Jennings concert a couple years ago, and I love Life, but I felt like if he would have did his concert like he did in one of his videos and had the live band playing, he would have got a better crowd. It would have been outstanding
Automatically.
because his voice is already there.
Yeah.
But because we're in such of a rush, no, we don't want to do this. I want to save a lot of my money. With the artists back in the days, like you said, used to pay hey, I need y'all on stage with me.
Yeah.
And it only works that way, right?
Yeah. There's something dynamic and something spiritually organic about having a live band
Right.
with a great artist.
Yeah.
From
That's
the studio
awesome,
to
man.
the stage. If you can't play it, bring the band in to play it.
That's awesome.
You
So
feel what I'm saying?
let's get into some of the artists that you helped develop and help come out. I know that you talked to me about one in particular, but let's talk about him going down.
Yeah,
Let's talk about some of the others.
In 1995, there was a group in Las Vegas by the name of Envy. And in that group, you had, there was 5 guys, but 2 of the guys that went on to do some great things were a guy named Corey Clark,
Okay.
who went to American Idol, and that's the one that slept with Paula Abdul scandal.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had Corey Clark, and I had a gentleman by the name of Shaper, which AKA Neo.
Right.
And that group went on to do some great things. Long story short, my buddy stole the group from me.
Okay.
And fast forward to the future, everything that I set up to happen from the beginning is a catalyst. Now the thing is the way it works with an artist, I tell people whatever was the catalyst for their success became the beginning of their start.
Right.
So if I stepped out of the store and I met you and you said come over to the studio, and then a year later I jump ship and go with somebody else because somebody's stealing, it started with you.
Right.
You believed in me. You made the initiative, took me under your wing, and made it happen. Gave me the name. It was so bad back then that they would be on the radio station here and they would be using the name. I'd call up and be like, hey man, that's my name. Y'all can't be using it.
Right.
It became that crazy back then.
I believe you.
But I had to let it go because I had to understand that I'm still an artist as well. And for me to dwell on something, and back then my attorney told me, hey man, if they ain't got a deal, ain't no need for you to make a big deal about it. Let them get a deal first and then make a big deal.
Right.
And that's what kind of helped ease my mind, because I was kind of hurt too.
Right.
It was like losing a girlfriend because I put so much
time
effort into that,
it.
you know what I mean? And I left it alone. And fast forward to the future, a series of things happened. And I will forever be part of that young man's legacy. So when the day he has to tell his real story, you can't write a story about being from a city or town and they say, it's not a trick question. If I ask you, hey Jay, how you get your start from the beginning?
Right. And you can't skip past it.
You can't,
gotta
come
tell the
on.
story.
You can't,
You got to.
especially if you was
Hey,
13 and 14.
What did I tell you when we first sat down? This show is about telling your story. So I understand that. When people want to know about me, these people in my team in my room will tell you I start with, hey, I was a foster kid first.
Yeah, you see. I mean, it has to start from somewhere. And one day, Neo will tell the real story. I mean, I've just now been talking to magazines who asked me the question. For the longest, I wouldn't even talk about it because I'm still upset about it.
Right.
And I just started really telling the story because, my publicist and my attorney said, look, man, this is part of your history. Why are you suppressing your own?
Right.
You gave those young men an opportunity. Even if they didn't stick with you and they jumped ship because your buddy stole them and wanted to make them believe he can do better, it started with you.
Right.
So that's part of your history. You gave them, when they look in the mirror, when they wake up in the morning in the big houses, it's one person they think about.
Right. They have to.
When they wake up and go to sleep. And when he said that to me, it made me go, that's deep. Because when you look in the mirror and we're successful and you got a nice car and house, first thing you think about is
Where I come from.
your struggle, right?
Yep. Yes. I tell you that every day I go back to it. Even now, moving, what I have to tell people every day is, we think that, okay, I built in Dallas. When I moved here, I came here with like, oh, I'm already successful, I'm already doing this and that, not thinking that this is a totally different market.
Yeah, you got to build here.
So now every day I get up, I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm talking to my team like, hey, I'm gonna rebuild. We got to rebuild here. No matter what I did back then. So
Right.
You're right. When he wakes up every day, when those artists wake up every day, they have to think about where they came
You
from.
got to think about Stone Paxton, brother. I mean, the big house, the nice cars. I mean, no offense, but the truth is, I think about all the people that had to do at the beginning of my career.
Yeah.
I always do. I think back to like, man, if this person had never taken a chance on me, I wouldn't even probably even be where I'm at right now, the truth. Because they steered me into the right direction. So when he decides to tell the truth, you can't write your life story without the beginning of it.
Right.
You can't start in the middle of the story and then
and hope the beginning is not gonna come out, because eventually somewhere in that story is gonna be like, but how did you start?
keyword start. Now for the longest, he used to say Atlanta. Now he's saying Vegas.
Yeah.
But if you watch any interviews,
Yeah, he says
Atlanta, and he talks about some dude that he says was, and this one's gonna really mess you up. So I get invited, I show up, I can't mention the name of the person. This is a big time industry cat, big time. I go to his house, me and my partner Rufus Black, he's written for everybody, Salt and Pepper, is my writing partner, right? Him and I go to this house. Now, the dude the whole time that Neil was talking, this the dude he was talking about.
Wow.
I'm in his house now. We're at the big house. We chilling. We talking about business and listening to some records. Rufus reminds me. He said, "Oh yeah, this is such and such that helped Neo." So I had to tell my boy. I said, "Oh, you do know that I'm the one that
started it,
gave him the start, right?" Well, I had never told him that.
Oh, okay.
But I just thought it was interesting. Now I'm in the house
of the person who
that he had always talked about when he mentioned names on interviews.
Right.
He had to know that also.
Because
there's no way he didn't know this the same Stone Paxton that was brought up in some legal situations.
It ain't like your name is not unique.
You feel what I'm saying? Like this got to be the same Stone Paxton name I'm hearing floating around. This got to be the dude. There's no way he didn't know that I'm not the dude. So I never even brought it up at the house. We talked about all kinds of other stuff. All kinds of great industry stuff. When I tell you this dude is a big time dude, he's big time. And I almost mentioned that, but it didn't feel right to mention that at that particular time, so I never brought it up.
Wow.
Like, hey man, I'm the dude. I'm sure you know who I am. But I already knew he knew who I was. He had to.
Awesome.
There's no way.
But sometimes it's better to stay silent. I tell people that all the time.
Yeah, you got to pick and choose.
Sometimes it's better
when
not
to say certain things.
It's better sometimes not to fight.
All day long. All day long.
I say that all the time. Paxton, I want to get out of here, man. I thank you so much.
We can do 3 more hours, y'all.
I know. Okay. Oh, I saw my producer get up. I'm like, okay, because I'm in this. I'm involved now.
Right.
So one other thing, like, you started to send me some stuff as we got to know each other. Now, take it, guys, we just met, but I feel like I know this man's whole story, and I'm sure he feels the same way. We talked for at least 2 hours outside of that show.
Yeah, we did. Yes,
and we both kept saying, okay, we're going to leave, and just give me your number. And we're like, well, hold up, let me talk about this. So to you artists, to artists out there, you offer something that I really liked and I thought was really unique. Because I told you I started the distribution, but you did it in such a unique way when I looked at it. I was actually talking to my team about it because we are getting a lot of artists that are coming our way. So I'm like, he offers distribution, but it's a price put to it.
Right.
And you choose the price route you want to go.
Yeah.
How did you come up with that? Because that was like, I don't want nothing else from you. Go on my distribution platform, pay your money, and do it every month, and you're good.
For so long, I've been doing distribution before there was digital distribution. Before there was even.
Yeah.
Because I was with the Orchard. Okay. Before Sony bought the Orchard.
Yep.
So I've been doing distribution for artists since the 90s, But when the model changed, I was on the front end when digital started, because the Orchard is who actually started digital distribution.
Yep.
They delivered the first digital distribution catalog to iTunes in 1999, and it was on the iPhones.
Yep.
That was the first digital distribution, and the rest is history. So everybody that came afterwards considered secondary. TuneCore, CD, all those cats, right? I already knew the model.
The things I keep telling people to stay away from.
Right. I knew the model, and I knew it very well. So, but the problem I was running into, in the black community, when you use certain words like Sony, or even when there's Death Row. When Death Row was popping, everybody and their mama was getting signed. I'm sure you knew 3 people that was getting signed to Death Row. You probably knew 2. I knew
a lot.
10 cats was talking about they was getting signed to Death Row. No Limit 2, right? Everybody was getting signed. I was like, yo, when they signed, we talking right now. We like name recognition. We love the name thing. So when people knew I had When Sony came in and bought the Orchard, the word got out. The dude, Stone Paxton, is with the Orchard Sony.
Wow.
Me being the nice dude I am, always wanting to help people, I start parlaying situations like, I'll distribute your label. These cats was taking that, flipping it into.
Selling it. You are, hey, that's how, now I'm going
Do
to
you
tell
see
you.
what I'm saying?
So let me tell you how we are so connected and how I know this. I got hired at Atlantic to help out with the marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Sony came to me and said, hey, we just bought Orchard. Would you like distribution? I said no.
Wow.
Only because of the fact that I wasn't really in the music game at that point.
Right.
I was just doing, I only got the deal with Atlantic because I was doing what I was doing for Verizon.
Right.
And somebody brought me to the table. I didn't understand the music. A friend of mine calls me up a year later. He says, man, I just signed a contract to do distribution from Sony Orchard. But what the artists started doing was taking their signed deals and going to clubs and throwing events.
I'm saying Sony. and that's what I was dealing with. And because I had been with them for so long with the Orchard, people don't know what I went through to get in the position I was in.
Right.
And I wasn't about to let nobody mess up my opportunity. And you know, when you're African American and anything goes bad, you're automatically looked at like you had to have known about it or you was part of it. And I didn't want to have to be explaining myself. But when I got caught up in some situations to where that became the subject of the day, like this and that, who knew this, who knew that, I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. I knew then I had to separate my Orchard situation and do something totally separate. Because I can't count on a person being honest.
Yeah.
I can't count on there's hustlers out here
that finds a way to get around.
Come on, they're looking at the opportunity to,
Yes.
to take my hard-earned situation and turn it into a hustle. How do you turn a legitimate situation into a hustle? They were doing it though. But it was making me look bad and putting me in a very compromising position to lose my deal altogether.
Got you.
They had actually sent me a letter saying they're about to shut me down completely. So I knew, I said, I got to separate this. I just can't trust people are going to do things by the book.
Right.
So I got to separate it. So that's where Brand Artist Coalition came up.
I thought it was so, when I told you sent it to me that night, and I research because everything, when I connect with great people, I try to figure out how can I use what they're sending me to integrate my people. Because what you're offering is an opportunity and a chance for somebody to get distributed on multi-platform. But when I saw the pricing that you were saying, I was like,
yeah,
that's a genius.
Yeah.
We're talking $20 if you want to go this route.
Yeah.
$30, $40 if you want to go this route. I'm sitting back like, but everybody else is out here saying, give me $250 and I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
I was like, nope, I got to take this and I got to present it to my artists as we work it.
You know, Jay, it's never the artist that's doing the hustling. It's always the middleman.
Yep.
Now, my thing is, if you're going to hustle, we understand everything can be a business.
Yep.
But just be proper with how you do it.
I look at it,
mean, you know what I'm
and
saying?
You're absolutely right. Because we get people, I'm so sorry. We get people all the time that take what we do and try to, I got somebody right now, swear to God, I build apps. I'm a software developer by trade. So I build apps. I don't care, and I range them from $750 to whatever, $800,000 if you want it that complicated. But I got somebody like, I put an ad out and I'm getting hit up by artists like, hey, I heard you can do this for me, da da da. I'm like, how much did they tell you?
Right. So you already know.
So
you know?
Looking at yours, I looked at it as like, I think we found a platform that we could trust is what I was saying, that we found somebody that I know if I keep it legit with him, hey, I'm about to start sending a funnel of artists through your platform. I'm not even looking at the commission because I can make my money up off of the artists.
Right.
And just as long as the work's being done.
Absolutely.
That is the problem that was happening with Sony Orchard Distribution.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you why, too, when you finish. I'm going to
No,
tell you why.
go ahead. That's why, that was my next question.
So you're having issues with the work being done?
Yes.
It's the middleman. It's the middleman. Because right now I can open up my computer, log into my Orchard Sony portal, and say, Jay, upload it, set a date, and it's out. But if there's a middleman, there's two dudes before, I want my change, he go to him, then you feel what I'm saying? The real dude with the portal is right here. He don't even know what these two is doing. That's what was getting done to me. He don't even know what's being done.
And that's
so I take the middleman out and give people their own situation.
Yep. See,
Middleman's out.
That's what was happening with IMF. When I built IMF,
You know what I'm saying?
I built IMF, and when my partner came to me and said, "Hey, you got this. I can go get the artists. I can do this." He started hiring A&Rs. Now I took on a chairperson role, and I tell people because I like to sit. If you know me, you know I sit back and I just listen. So every day they were on me like, "Jayson, you're not signing any artists." I'm like, "I know. I just want to pay attention." One of the artists that I signed, that was signed to my label, is my production crew right now. He does movies. He came all the way from Detroit. He went to Houston. I said, "Hey, you're in Houston. If you're done with music, let me make you an A&R, and then you can focus on your film and still make money."
Right.
So
and use that music in the film as well.
He signed a couple artists, and those artists knew me personally, and they called and said, "Jayson, I just got. I know that I should be getting a check right now, and I'm not seeing it." So I started digging into our financials, come to find out all those middlemen were eating, but they had changed up. When I send the contracts out, they would change it up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
To a higher percentage. So it looked like the company was stealing from you. So when I walked away and it fell apart, everybody, "Jayson, what happened?" Hey, I gave all the money back. Where'd the money go? I gave it all back to the artist. I don't need that reputation. Yeah. What I do is 100% legit. So when I talked to you and you said that, notice when you said it, I was like, "Send that to me, please."
Yeah, you did immediately. Yeah.
Because I know artists that are really looking for that chance. That, like I said, I would have loved for him to be here today, but he works. He just did a photo shoot from an artist that is fantastic. And I mean, I think people are sleeping on him because he's a mixture between hip hop and neo soul.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to hear that.
Right. And so I showed him, I said, "Look, I got him on, when I tell you the plan, I got him on his so bare minimum." You'll be like, "Dang, how you been making money?" I'm like, "I'm not. That's not my purpose."
Right.
My purpose is to get him in front of the right people to do the things to build his brand and get him in the place where he's going to be. Because like you understood, if I do that.
It's all about catalog power at the end of the day. And the way my structure is set up, you guys, it's like, let's say you had 10 artists here. Let's say the artists were signed under you guys' company. You say you sign them, you tell them, "Listen, if you got finished albums, give them to us. You guys put it in the portal." You send their percentage that day to them. The artists say, "Well, listen, I want to be fair to you guys. Just give me 30%. Their 30%, they'll get an email that says, "Jayson, record company has sent you your 30% royalty split." Soon as they sign in, accept it, their money, when that sells, goes to them. You guys ain't got to worry about paying them. They ain't got to worry about trusting you guys.
Y'all hear this, right? Y'all hear what I'm
That's how my
with.
system is set up. And the producer percentage, you can say, "Let me send the producer his percentage," and then your percentage goes to you. Everybody's happy. The biggest argument with artists is where my money at.
Yep. So let's
even if they ain't making nothing.
Let's talk about that part. So one of the things that part you said about the producer. So I'm big on, and this is where I get told that I'm not an artist. I need to shut up sometimes. But I don't understand it because I'm a businessman. I see artists go in the studio, and my studios from Dallas to Killeen to even here in Vegas, and you have to sign a split sheet before you start working.
Absolutely.
And I don't understand the artists that don't understand that, especially to this day.
They feel distrust. Our people do. Oh, that's only black folks. Sorry.
No, you're good.
As soon as you go into percentages, black people, "Oh man, I don't know about all that right now." But that's the fundamentals of business. You sign it. But what's so beautiful about Brand Artist Coalition is the day the song is done and you upload it, you assign their percentages right there on the spot. Even with them sitting there, you go, "Hold on, brother. How much you say you get? 10%? Okay. You 2%? They'll get an email. It's sending them, ding, ding. Okay, accept that percentage, and y'all leave. Ain't no arguments. You just got your percentage sent to you.
Y'all understand what I'm coming with, right? As long as you artists watching, just understand this is a powerful connection for me because of what I do. I'm not an artist. I look at the business. I try to help you guys understand. I only bring people that can give that knowledge because when I talk about it, everybody thinks that we're just trying to add something extra to our consulting.
Right, and when you're not. When you're not.
All I'm trying to do is get you to understand how the industry really works back door. Because I was in Atlanta. They flew me down. There was an artist, hot. A&R brought me to the table. I'm sitting there with them. Like, okay, because as I listen to the deals, I got to start thinking about how we're going to market you, what your brand is going to look like. What artists didn't understand, what the artist didn't understand, I tried to talk to him before we even went to meeting. I said, "Who produced your music?" And he was like, "Oh, my cousin. We did it from his home." I said, "Did y'all sign some kind of paperwork?" He said, "No. He just told him I got him if it blows up." Sit down at that table, and I tell artists this to this day, and they really think I be joking. I said, that A&R, when they bring you to that table, if Stone is the person with the money, he's gonna write the check. But the first thing they're going to ask you is, who owns the waves? Who owns this? Who owns the production? Who owns this? If you say this producer or this engineer and he's not at the table with you guys, that A&R literally has to take that check, take you, go to this person, and tell them by law how much they're paying you for that song. Do you really think he's going to come back and only take that $150 that he offered you up front, knowing that you about to get $250 million?
You got to trust that. And if it's not on paper,
and I tell them, so with you saying what you're saying, with you putting in what you're putting in, and today it's like I've been saying the same thing for 5-6 years to artists, and they've been like, "You don't know what you're talking about." And I'm like, but then when they get brought to that table, and the person that I'm referring to, he did the song "Clean as a Whistle."
oh wow, okay.
And that's the song everybody's playing.
Does he own and control the
No.
catalog? And
Does not make nothing off of it.
So who did he distribute that through?
Here's the story. In Dallas, Ricochet had a manager by the name of Peanut. Everybody want to work with him now because he's getting artists signed. But now they understand how he really works. Peanut, what we were talking about in the beginning about how a manager does. Artists will sit back and say, my manager pays for everything. I got a manager that Mo3's original manager, he does that right now with artists. He pays for everything. These artists don't understand that that's a trick.
Yes, because I mean, legally, I can charge interest on my money just like a bank. I mean, it's a business. You know what I mean?
So when Ricochet first did the song and it blew up, he was booking the hotels. He was booking but 4 years prior to the song breaking up, he's put them in shows, put them in hotels, buying them clothes, buying them shoes, taking care of his kids even while they're on this grind. When they brought him to the table, Peanut cleaned up so much that Ricochet couldn't afford to pay him, so he had to sign over the rights and publishing.
Oh no, he
song.
didn't, man. Come on.
So that song plays.
Oh,
go to
my
any
God,
party on
man.
the East Coast. Go to any DJ.
He signed over
the
the publishing. Dang, man. Wow, man. Wow, man. That's crazy, man.
So now,
all of it. Yeah, he was misinformed completely. He had no idea the value of that's bloodline money.
yes, you hear the song and when I tell you, Paxton, I watch these artists literally go in. The smartest artist I met, rest in peace, Mo3. He was the one that reason why he was so big was because he came to nothing. He was like, I don't want this. He turned down deals. I want to own my publishing. I want to own my distribution. Because he didn't drink, he didn't smoke, so they couldn't put him in a situation where he signed something by accident or this
Right.
and that. He understood. But when you try to, that's what I was going to ask you, do you feel like these new age artists are so hungry to make money that they're missing? They're deliberately not looking at the paperwork.
Let me tell you a story. I met this artist about a year and a half ago, and he was put me on. I have a certain way I deal with artists. If you inbox me with like, you need to F with me, I don't even respond to you.
Right.
'Cause that's a super disrespectful way to hit up somebody that's an executive in the game, right?
To introduce themselves.
Right. And so this cat was pretty respectful, man. He had just got out of prison, and I felt bad for him. He moved to Vegas. He was struggling, but he's telling me about his personal, like, I can't pay my bills. I was like, I don't have anything to do with that one, but I can give you some opportunity to perform. So I set him up with a performance. During that week, he hit me and he said, man, listen, I'll sign over all my songs, but I just need $5,000. He was at his most desperate point, and he was willing to sign over however many songs he. Yeah.
Wow.
He said, just give me 5, bro. Whatever you need, I'll come in, cut 30 songs, 40 songs, whatever I got, I'll give to you. I just need 5,000. But he wasn't thinking about it's always easy to do that in the beginning, but the long term is what they don't see. You don't have to be a platinum artist, and I want to say this to you artists. You don't have to be a platinum artist to make a living in this business. If you got a serious catalog, if you got 200 songs in your catalog, you're going to be making money.
Right.
Because digital now is so powerful, you don't have to have a hit. It's a numbers game. Just like
Yes.
you go to Walmart, they know you're going to leave with a piece of gum, a shoestring,
Yeah.
a hat. Their probability is based on
Yeah.
that. So in music, I call it the Walmart theory of music. That's what I always call it. It's about product. The more product you have out, the more money you're making. Don't worry about one song being a hit. Forget all that.
Right.
You're an independent artist. You can change the narrative. You can carve out your own situation if you're willing to put the product out there. The more product you have out, it's like a scale. It doesn't matter. A tipping scale. You put weight on it,
It's gonna go.
and it's not going to go back up until you take that.
Until you
So
take it.
indefinitely it's going to be here.
Yeah.
So the more product you put out, you're going to change your outcome in the equation, which is going to be success, because you can't help but to continuously make money. One song might make you $8 today, tomorrow it might make you 10. It's going to go up and down. So the more you got, that's $10 here, 20, 30, 10, 10, 8,
Cap,
5.
we need to make music.
You feel what I'm saying? Really, it's really a numbers game, and I try to. And why do you think think about this? This gonna really mess you up. Warner Brothers, Sony, EMI, they never worry about it. Out of 10 artists, how many artists you think end up being successful when they put out 10 artists? Out of 10,
One.
about one or two, maybe two end up going on being successful. So you say, well, what do they do with the other 7 or 8?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
It doesn't matter. That catalog's going to still make them money. They're going to use it in film. And now with streaming, it's bigger than it's ever been, because now streaming makes money while you sleep. So can you imagine what they're getting in streaming dollars?
Right. From artists.
I
that
can
they've
tell you
already
my streaming checks are very interesting. But can you imagine a company that has over 50,000
artists.
catalogs though?
Yeah.
Songs.
And
So I
that's
tell
what-
artists,
I
it's
think
a numbers game.
That's what artists are starting to realize is the cataloging. But I think they're only realizing that because of artists dying and passing off.
See, they still don't get it. They still looking at a major artist dying and passing
Right.
off. They still don't understand the logistics that get in the studio, cut the records, put them out. Stop worrying about if it's a hit. Who cares? Let the fans decide on that stuff. You're done with this one today. Artist job should be in the studio doing 5, 6 songs a day.
So let me ask you this. Do you think this is a problem? Because I come across this problem. You cannot tell an artist that. Not nowadays. They want to be involved in the branding of themselves. I told an artist the other day, I said, listen, I said, who picks the music you put on your album?
They do.
And they were like, so when they say that, they say exactly what you just said. I do. Me and my friends, we heard it, we thought it was a hit. I said, how can you and your friends? Because here's what I learned about, this is why I don't go in any of my studios when artists are recording. I don't want to hear it. And the reason why, because what happened? So I give a little analogy with Lil Wayne's song, How to Love.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most annoying song ever to be put out, ever. It just, when you first hear it, you like, I hate it. But he did the perfect marketing routine. Because we learn by music,
Mm-hmm.
we learn our ABCs, we learn how to count,
Absolutely.
we learn a lot of stuff by singing it. You'll find if you sing something, you'll remember it a lot. So, with that, you want this?
No, it's okay.
With that, I tell them, but Lil Wayne, they paid every radio campaign, they paid them a buku of money, and that song had to be played. You can go look this up. It had to be played 80 times in one day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But why? Because they needed you to love this song.
Yeah. The more you hear, yeah.
To where it was eventually. So when I talked to them about what you just said, I'm like, listen, take your friends out of the studio.
Yeah.
Do a listening party. How are you picking invite total strangers who ain't never heard you. It's the same that you're saying about the catalog.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in there, let it run, especially on streaming. Don't everything. If I was an artist, if I could rap, if I could sing, I'll be at your studio like, hey, hey, can I do it 24 hours?
Brother, listen, and I listen, so when I'm speaking at these music conferences, this is one subject comes up exactly about this. So I say to them, how many of you in this room didn't know who I was when you came in here? So I'm going to raise their hand. How many know who I am? Okay, let's go back to the ones that didn't know who I am. How much money do you think that I make in this business? Do you think I'm making a living off of this thing? Some, oh no, well, yeah, I'm not. I say, say that again. You're not. Because you don't make a living, you think nobody else can.
Right.
So then I make them bring up on the projector on my residual income. Each breakdown, and they're like, oh my God, like, how are you able to? I say, but you never knew who I was before you came here today.
Right.
See, the thing is, it's a model that's been set up
Forever.
since the 30s, 20s and 30s with records. It hasn't changed. It's a business model. It's a business of music, not the artist business. When you understand that and you get out of your own way and you just put records out, then you pick and choose the ones you're going to market. Like, okay, I'm just throwing this out, but these are the ones I'm going to market. But I threw 3 records out this month, 4 records out this month. And eventually that person will see their residual income grow. Then they start going, dang, Stone was right. I know I'm right. You say music is all you want to do. The only way that's going to work is you got to have catalog power. You got to have catalog power. You can literally do nothing but music. But you won't really start seeing no money until you got at least about 200 independently though.
Yeah.
I'm talking about without marketing.
Yeah,
if you don't have a budget to spend to really blow it up. If you want to see money, if you got 200 songs out in your catalog, you're going to start seeing money and you'll thank me. And then after that, it's just continuous profit.
But that's what I love about it. I love about what you're saying because I teach that same concept in just business overall. Like, it's a blueprint out there.
It's an absolute
But some of you
blueprint.
guys are not wanting to learn the blueprint because you're so busy. In my class, we talk about chasing trends.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're chasing trends, bro.
They're
Like,
so busy of chasing trends, they're not paying attention.
Yeah, they're chasing trends like it's a race, like it's a
Yeah.
literal Indy 500. You know, when I say to rappers, I say, let me tell you something. You tell me to F with you, right? And no, they say stuff like F with me, I'm gonna blow you up. These are the messages I get.
Right.
F with me, I'm gonna blow you up. I say, then how come you haven't blown up on your own yet?
Right.
Why do you need me to blow you up?
If
You
you're
just
that
told me.
talented.
Right. So I say, what makes you different than Lil Wayne? I'll listen to their music. I say, bro, this sounds like everything else that's out there. Do you play an instrument? Nah. I say, okay. Are you producing your own work? Nah. You play piano? Nah. You know marketing? Nah. I say, so you just like every other cat around the corner. I can go get 10 of you.
Right.
Do you have a catalog? No. I say, well, you definitely like everybody else. And if you'd have told me, man, I got 600 songs in my catalog, I play piano, I play guitar, now you different. But other than that, you just like everybody else. So I can show you how to be a businessman, which will leverage you at an advantage ahead of all the other rappers. Because in Vegas, let's say you might know 6 rappers. Name me 6 of those rappers that are out here dropping records back to back. I tell cats all the time.
Can I be honest with you? Since I moved here, I met maybe one artist that really is about his business. The rest of them, I see them at shows. I see them at different things. So they'll hit me with their lives and I'm like, but you're doing the same model that everybody else is doing. I even went as far as to tell them, like, keep doing what you're doing because you need to be seen. Don't get that wrong if you want to be that artist that want to be famous. But I told one artist, I said, what you guys don't understand is y'all chasing a trend because y'all heard, let's say somebody blows up in a region.
Mm-hmm.
Blueface blew up and everybody in Cali started rapping like Blueface.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's like,
annoying.
golly.
It's annoying, bro.
When Mo 3 came out, everybody in Texas started singing, rapping.
Yeah.
I'm like, that worked for him. What works for you? That is the problem that a lot of these artists don't understand and don't get, is when I come to them and I say, listen, I'm here to help you with the marketing and the branding. If you have a unique look, quit letting somebody tell you. Because I tell them straight up, my team will tell you, if you got gangster rap and you come in here looking like Steve Urkel, it's not gonna work. Right? That's exactly what I tell them. If you tell me that, like the Indigo, you can see in him, I think he's great because he really is that higher living artist. Like he took photo shoots in a kimono. That's what I was looking at, right? He was like, he's like, hey, I'm just. And when I saw his album covers that he tried to send me, I'm redoing it because whoever did them just wasn't quality, but he's nothing but auras of light around him, and when you talk to him in person, he's so calm.
Right.
And he's like this, and then when you hear his music, you're like, wow. And I'm like, you're gonna blow. You just need to understand the business side. I don't care. I just told him, all I want to do is get you in the studio. We don't have a studio down here until I get my center, so I'm searching for places for him to go. But when people hear his music, they're like, wow. I just saw a video that I didn't know they had took this weekend because I took a day off and I shouldn't have. And I was like, I came out and I said, the whole crowd was clapping for him. He said, yeah, bro. He said, they love him.
Right.
When I try to tell artists, like, find your way, how do you, somebody like me, what advice would you give me as a person that's not in the entertainment field that artists are running to because of who I can connect them to? And the platform that you just gave me, I'm grateful for, because I've been looking for how can I get them distributed and not go to Shopify, I don't want them to go to Spotify. I don't want them to go to Apple. Because look, a penny is a penny, right? We all agree.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whether they're taking 1 cent from you or 3 cents, doesn't matter. If it spends $1 million times, you're paying a company you don't know.
Yeah.
That they could be reselling it, and I tell people, like, you gotta understand, like, once you put it on that platform, you sign it's an agreement that said they have the right to use it how they want to use the music.
Right, and then my thing with going direct to certain aggregators is, if you are just a small time rapper, I'll rob you. I mean, who are you?
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But if you got somebody representing you in between the aggregator and they're saying, this is my percentage, I'm going to collect for you to make sure you getting properly monetized, then it's different. I tell artists, I know we want to take the control in our hands, but you don't know business proper and you ain't on that level, then you're going to get robbed no matter what, even at the smallest percentage. So you allow an aggregator or somebody to collect from those aggregators so that you're getting your full value. What I tell artists is being different has a great value to it.
Right.
Before Bruno Mars was dropping Uptown Funk and all these records, all my records were charting overseas, going like crazy, because I come from the background of being with a funk group, but my personal records were not like what you would hear an R&B artist really drop. You had the funk infused. I was doing it before that.
Right.
People's like, oh yeah, that's cool. Overseas, they was loving it. Here in the U.S., some people's like, yeah, it's cool. Then all of a sudden, Bruno
brings it out.
Start following that. Now, I'm going to give you guys an album today. This particular album, then people's like, oh man, I love your music. Remind me of Bruno. I'm like, this music
was before
me. Bruno and me.
Yeah.
So, but what works for me is I'm not afraid to be different. I don't care if you don't like my music.
Right.
I'm not doing it for you. I'm doing it for the higher frequency in me.
Yeah.
And in return, because the energy that I put into it and the love, you're going to hear that. When you hear it, you're going to go, dang, this dude is the conviction from my writing. And you're going to end up liking it.
Right.
Because it's great melody, great music anyway. If you don't take a chance on being you, when will you? I tell artists, when will you start?
I agree 100%.
When this artist that you follow decides to switch, you're going to keep switching and following them, or are you going to create your own? There's value in being different. People want what's different. People are tired of turning on the radio hearing the same thing. I don't even listen to the radio no more. If I do, it's jazz, it's rock, it's old school. I don't listen to no hip hop because I produce it. I turn on the radio and I say it's like one big remix.
Yep.
Even the singers all sounding like that. You can't tell one female from the other.
I say that all the time.
You can't tell one dude, the guy singers, Jayson Derulo, Chris Brown. I'd be like, is that Derulo or is that Brown? So I call it Derulo Brown when it come on the radio. You feel what I'm saying?
With you. I say the same thing. You can't really know, so I get so lost when people start. You don't listen to this person, no. You don't listen. Nope. I have a set group of music.
Why not say to you, hey Jayson, I'm original, bro. I know you probably expect for me to. You're gonna go, no. I'm glad you sound like. Yeah, my sound is just me.
And that's why. That's what when my mentor introduced me to Indigo, he started immediately send me his music, and I listened, and I was like, I could listen to this all day.
Yeah,
and that's what I look for. I look for. Remember back in the days, you look for the album that you could say, I could pop this CD in my car.
Yes.
And
you were excited about it. You remember we used to stand outside of stores. Y'all remember we used to wait for releases every week. So every Tuesday, right? So I said to myself, I want to bring that back.
Right.
I want to bring that feeling back when people love music so much they're waiting. Literally, every time I announce on my Facebook page I got a new single coming out, my page goes crazy. My supporters, when? And then when people get the record, oh my God, Stone, when is the next one? So I felt like I created that synergy within my system.
Yep.
I tell the artists I'm 53. There's no way at 53 I should have 47 top 5 and top 100 records.
Right.
And a Billboard independently.
Wow.
I'm not young. I'm not a young cat.
You just learn how to make the system.
How did I do that? So I tell young people, don't give me the excuses about what can't be done, because I'm doing it, and you might not have never played any of my records, but I can show you all the chart. I can show you every record that charted. I can show you the plaques. I post them. I post them all the time, and it blows people's mind.
My brother, he does the same thing. His songs go. He's posting platinum albums, and Apple sent him this, and YouTube sent him this, and I'm like, what are you doing? I ain't never ever heard. And honestly, you're right about that, because I've never heard a song my brother ever have done. I've never listened to it, never Googled it. I would hear him when we were together when I in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
I would go to his house and hear him putting together stuff. But I'm like the person that's like, I'm not sitting here with you while you're doing this.
Right.
I can't take it. I'm out.
Yeah, you don't like the four walls too long. It does take this one.
And it does.
Yeah, it does.
And I tell people all the time, like, I'm not the consultant that's gonna go sit with you in the studio.
Yeah.
I'm not the consultant that's gonna be with you on stage. I'm not. And if I see you with too many people on stage, I'm gonna be like, get them niggas out there passing out your shirts.
Yeah. No, really. That's what they need to be doing. Yeah.
So with that, man, I want to say thank you for coming by.
Oh,
I do want to
absolutely,
set up
man.
a second interview with you,
Yeah.
so I'll be getting in touch with that so
Yes.
we can go further into this.
Absolutely.
Guys, I hope y'all got everything that my man put out today. Artists, I really do. Tell them where they can find your music, where they can find you if you want to get that information out.
You can find me at Instagram at Stone Paxton, Facebook at Stone Paxton. All my music, just Google Stone Paxton, iTunes, Spotify, all that. It's great music, you guys. Share it with your family, but you're gonna love it once you start listening to it. You'll be hooked. Also, for artists looking for distribution, my guys are going to be setting their company up with Brand Artist Coalition, so you can get with them, or you can go to the Brand Artist Coalition site. But you want to get with them because they got a lot to offer over here as well. BrandArtistCoalition.com. But get with them; they'll lay it out for you and let you know what you need to do.
Man, I appreciate you coming out, man. It's been a pleasure of mine.
Absolutely, family.
Everybody,
Thank you for
this has
inviting
been
me.
an episode of Real Talk with Jayson Dixon. All I gotta say is, if you missed out on this one, artist, I'm proud because he made me back up what I felt like I've been doing for years. That artists and other producers who thought they were the man were telling artists, and I'm seeing independent artists drop off daily because they just cannot or will not follow a simple blueprint. That's all we agree. It's all a blueprint. If you follow it, you're going to get where you want to be, whether it's the fame or you're just searching for the money. So, guys, I thank you for tuning in today. Go and check us out. Take us away, Cap.
Thank you for tuning in to NWCLV.FM. That was Real Talk with Jayson Dixon featuring Stone Paxton. And don't forget, when you're in Las Vegas, Nevada, stop by Nevada Wellness Center. We're the only 100% black-owned dispensary in Nevada. And don't forget, I'm DJ King KeauxBruh. I move slick, strike quick, hit you once, and it's over. And DJ, that's digital journalist, because I don't jock nothing. You heard me? Stay tuned to NWCLV.FM. Off top, we hot.
I like that.